Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for jumping on here today. I know this week I only have one video for you guys. I was feeling a little bit of a creative block, but then this kind of idea came to my mind. So today I was going to get a little more personal. I want to tell you about kind of why I went from being an MLM to very vocal about being anti-MLM. So first of all, before we start, thank you so much for all of the support. I want to just say we have officially hit 100 subscribers, which was one of my goals for this summer. We're actually, I think, 105. So thank you so much for subscribing. That may not seem like a big number, but I just started this channel a little over a month ago, and all your support is amazing. So if you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe so that I know what you guys like and I can keep putting out content for you guys. So today I really wanted to get a little more personal with why I was, in an MLM for 2.5 years and now why I'm super vocal in the anti-MLM community. Because you may see a lot of women that have been in MLMs that turn anti-MLM real quick, and I'm going to just share my exact reasoning what made me take the leap and why I decided to do it. So first of all, if you guys watched my first video on why I quit Beachbody, you'll know I was actually debating leaving Beachbody for a while, and I was not committed to it for a long time. And then when they started monetizing on the pandemic, I said that's enough is enough, and I needed to get out. So I got out, and then I started watching anti-MLM YouTubers and looking at anti-MLM Instagram pages, which I had always avoided when I was in an MLM, because when you're in an MLM, it's like anything that goes against your MLM, it's like you automatically think is bad. So I wouldn't even give it the time of day. And I honestly used to see people post like pyramid scheme, like stupid, like anti-MLM content stuff. And I would be like, okay, it's not a pyramid scheme, like that's the same thing that they all say, because that's what you're taught to respond with. I finally gave those accounts the time of day, and I started doing my own research, and I was like, oh my gosh, like MLMs are extremely predatory. And I know there's a lot of people that have started to do anti-MLM content on YouTube, and I felt like that was a good place to start for me, because it's a really good outlet for me to just let you guys know that they are predatory and they are doing the opposite of female empowerment. One of the things that bothers me the most in terms of female empowerment, listen, I'm a feminist. I am all for female empowerment. I'm all for equity and equality. And women in MLMs, they call themselves their own CEO, but there already is a CEO. And if you look at all of the CEOs of the big MLMs, they're all men, white men, to be specific. They're all white men. So is it really empowerment if the CEOs are all white men? Where's the diversity, and where are the women? If it truly was a women empowerment platform, don't you think that the higher level people in the company could be women? Don't you think women would be founding these MLMs as a way to support women? But it's not women. And I would much rather put my time and my money and my support into small, actual business owners that are women, that are people that are not white, that people that don't look like me, people that are from different backgrounds, different cultures, different parts of the world. I'd rather support small businesses. I'm not saying I don't want to support men's businesses, but when you have a business that is, the whole idea behind it is about women empowerment, yet all of the CEOs are these white guys, how is it really for women? And secondly, it targets vulnerable women. We've talked about this before. I don't want to repeat this too much, because if you watch my videos, you've seen it. It really targets vulnerable women, women that are in debt because they're in school, or women that are in, having babies, pregnant women, military spouses. I know there are men also in MLMs. I'm not saying men do not get scammed into MLMs. Let's be real. Beachbody, for example, it's mostly women. In my experience, I saw very few men. I did see some men doing it, but I saw very few. And these women were all in vulnerable positions. And to me, that's not women empowerment. That is preying upon a vulnerable group of women, when these women could be starting their own businesses, or could be actually empowering themselves in a way that's not them getting scammed. That being said, I want to reiterate the fact that I am anti-MLM. I'm not anti distributors. There are some distributors out there that are really nasty people. They're really not. I have seen distributors be very mean. I'm not here to target distributors. If someone is a bad person, I won't like you whether you're in an MLM or not. There's bad people everywhere. There's shady people everywhere. So it's not about that to me. But to me, an MLM is a place that people can be mean and it is justified. People bully and it is justified. I am against the business structure that makes you feel okay with talking in a very manipulative and rude way towards other people. MLM distributors, I think that they're also victims of the MLM. That's what I believe. So I wanted to make it very clear, I'm not against distributors. There's actually good people. They just want to help other people, and that is nothing to be ashamed of. The problem is they've been preyed upon and they've been manipulated into this MLM where they are vulnerable, and now they're locked in because we want to talk about the cult mentality. This is where you get them hooked in. Toxic positivity, you get love bombing, the need for friends. I'm not anti-distributor, I'm anti-MLM. And I think it needs to be said because I know I've expressed some anger even and some frustration towards some, distributors. So I'm not saying there's not bad people. There's bad people in every industry, but I specifically have a problem with the business model that MLMs portray, and because it allows people to behave in a way that's very predatory, and when they get really, really into it, they prey on other people. However, I do still believe that they are victims of the MLM, which is why I think that MLMs need to stop, because we don't need people preying on other people. People can have their own businesses, they can be their own CEOs for real, and they can empower each other without being in an MLM. The MLM is actually the opposite of empowerment, in my opinion. I wanted to make that very clear. I wanted to make it very clear that when you come on this page, I'm anti-MLM, not anti-distributor. I don't condone bullying. I don't want to bully distributors. It's not a personal attack on distributors. They have been encouraged to say these things by uplines who are encouraged by corporate. So this is just it's a whole mess, guys. It's a whole mess. Also, I am super duper hot. There's been a heat wave. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for fall, guys. Woo. So I just think that it needs to be said for you guys to know where I stand, so that you guys know what my view is and why I'm anti-MLM. And I have experience being in one. And when I was, when I started seeing the opinions and the perspectives of the people that have gotten out, and I started to do the research, and I started to see, oh my gosh, everyone loses money. 90% of people lose money or don't make any money. A lot of people don't even make minimum wage. I think the biggest wake-up call for myself was actually when I realized that you can only get paid with recruiting. Beachbody's cases, I think the problem is the business model, because if they just sold program platforms, it would be like a company that you buy a subscription from, like Netflix. They call themselves the Netflix of programs, but Netflix doesn't make you recruit friends to make money. That's the difference. Netflix, you sign up, you pay a certain amount a month, and you watch Netflix. They could have the same thing with their programs. So the problem with me is I genuinely signed up because I was like, oh, well, maybe I can help people, figure out a way to work out at home, because I personally like working out at home. That is where I feel happy. Yet, when I started to learn that the money is in the recruiting, that's where I felt icky, and that's directly related to the business model. So those are really the things that push me to the other side, to be anti-MLM. And this is just to raise awareness. It's hopefully that you see this, or someone can see this, or you can send this video to someone and you say, listen, I heard you were trying to join an MLM. Please watch this. Inform yourself before you join. If you want to join, that's on you. I can't tell you not to join, but I can give you the information that you need to make a well-rounded decision for yourself. And I want to deter people from joining. 100% want to deter people. I don't think you have to join an MLM. I don't think any of us have to. I would like to see people, seeing all the anti-MLM people speaking up about the problems with MLMs really highlights the fact that they are very problematic and very predatory. So my whole purpose with talking about this and sharing this information is to give you guys knowledge, to give you guys facts, to give you guys my personal experience. So I think it's important to do the research, because the research shows that these businesses are not a good They don't have a good business model. Watch the video I did with my husband a few weeks ago. He's in finance, he's in business, he understands that world, and he said that this is a very bad business model. You lose money, you spend more money than you make. You should never have to pay to join a business. When you get hired at a job, you don't have to pay to join that company. So you should never have to pay, and you should never have to keep paying products to keep your status active, to be active in a company. In a normal company, you don't have to do any of those things. If you want to do ambassadorships or things like that, go ahead, do those. Those are not MLMs. Those are things where you get paid commission if people use your promo code. So things like that. You don't have to join an MLM. This may seem a little off the rails. I didn't really take any notes. I wanted to speak from my heart. I wanted to just kind of let it go, let you guys know. I felt a calling to tell you exactly why I started this channel. And that's because I actually genuinely want to empower women. And if I can empower you by making a decision to not be in an MLM, then I feel like I've done the right thing. I also started a podcast 2 months ago with one of my best friends that we actually met in Beachbody. And Beachbody has given me some of my closest friends, and most of us has quit. The ones that haven't, I have nothing against them. They're great human beings. You know, they're not in Beachbody trying to scam people. They genuinely care about their clients. So I'm not here to say it's against the distributors. I met some of my best friends in Beachbody. One of my best friends and I, we got out, we started a podcast because we felt we wanted to have the autonomy over what we put out and the content we created. Because if you go listen to that podcast, it's called Goddess Revived Podcast. You can find the Instagram page. It's on Apple, Spotify, everything. We talked a little bit about why we quit, and it was because we weren't aligned with the business model. And doing the podcast and doing YouTube has given me the creative freedom that I need in creating content, and it makes me feel like I'm not limited with what I say, because before I felt like I had to talk within the bounds of what Beachbody would allow. I know that sounds crazy. Watch some of my old videos. I talked about how Beachbody made me feel like I couldn't voice my own opinions. I couldn't talk about things that I was being educated on in university and stuff like that. Go watch that video if you haven't seen it. So these platforms, podcasting, YouTube, has made me feel way more free. I feel like I can be who I really am. I feel like I can say what I need to say. And the point is, I now feel like I can speak without being restricted into the bounds of Beachbody. I have control over what I put out, and I have control over what I say. And it's made me feel much more in control of my life. So these platforms are there for the reasons because I genuinely want to help people, which is why I initially joined Beachbody in the first place. And having a podcast where I can talk, it's directed at women about experiences, about life, and having a YouTube where I talk about, you know, why MLMs are predatory. It makes me feel like I'm doing better by women and by myself and for myself than I was doing within Beachbody. So that's really why I started this channel. So again, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for, you know, all of the people who've subscribed. You know, I would love to see this page continue to grow. If you have suggestions of videos that you prefer or that you want to see on here, please let me know in the comment section, because I really want to put out content that you guys love. And with the subscription rates going up, I want to make sure I'm staying consistent. I'm going to be trying to put up 1 to 2 videos a week consistently. So if you have any ideas on what you want to see, let me know. And thank you so much for your support. I am truly, truly grateful. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next week. Okay.